She's in it to win it and trying to win it.
Of course, and Democratic gubernatorial hopeful Cynthia Nixon will be on the primary ballot come September.
She has successfully gathered 65,000 signatures on a petition to square off against incumbent Governor Andrew Cuomo. That's five times the amount required, by the way. So Cuomo automatically secured his when he was endorsed at the party's convention.
And Nixon now kind of holding a unique campaign fundraising contest, get this, as part of her platform to legalize marijuana. Now, donors and non-donors can enter a competition to win a bong. Can't make this up. It's called Broad City Bong Content. The prize water pipe is signed by the two stars of the sitcom Broad City. Cynthia Nixon's campaign website saying it may be a silly contest, but the legalization of marijuana is a serious issue, with blacks and Latinos being arrested at alarmingly high rates when compared to white people who use marijuana at roughly the same rates.
A little bit of a ballot battle on social media for the 14th congressional district seat, representing areas in the Bronx and Queens.
This after political newcomer Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez trounced incumbent Congressman Joseph Crowley in the primary last month. Ocasio-Cortez saying Crowley isn't keeping his promise to take his name off that November ballot.
Ocasio-Cortez taking to Twitter, saying Representative Joe Crowley stated on live TV that he would absolutely support my candidacy. Instead, he stood me up for all three scheduled concession calls. Now, he's mounting a third-party challenge against me and the Democratic Party and against the will of the New York Working Families Party.
But at the same time, Crowley tweeting back, he says, Alexandria, the race is over and Democrats need to come together. He says, I've made my support for you clear, and the fact that I'm not running, we've scheduled your phone calls and your team has not followed through. I'd like to connect, but I'm not willing to air our grievances on Twitter.
And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez throwing her support behind a candidate for the Democratic primary race for New York Attorney General. She's backing Zephyr Teachout.
Teachout is going head-to-head against New York City public advocate Letitia James, who's endorsed by the state's Democratic Party. Teachout making investigating President Donald Trump's business practices the hallmark of her campaign.
And the race to secure the Democratic nomination suddenly became up for grabs when former Attorney General Eric Schneiderman resigned amid startling abuse allegations.
All right, and Daryl's here now with a check of our hyper-local forecast. Daryl, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Dave. You know, we're looking at a pretty pleasant day. All right. The question is, I know Christy wants to know, the day is over. What's going on for the upcoming weekend?
Weekend time. I'm ready.
Because my friend here, she doesn't let any grass grow
got plans to make.
Always
beach
does.
Beach
Let's
weather.
get right to it. Beach weather, you got it. We're looking at daytime highs of 83, 84, and 85 degrees. Started out the day.
President Trump meeting with foreign leaders as this summer's NATO summit continues in Brussels, Belgium.
The president using day 2 of the summit to recommit himself to NATO allies, despite Wednesday's attacks on fellow nations' contributions of funding and Germany's energy agreement with Russia. Trump then going on at length about his potential relationship with the Russian president as a summit between those two men looms later this month.
He's not my enemy, and hopefully someday maybe he'll be a friend. It could happen, but I just don't know him very well. I've met him a couple of times.
And the President and First Lady Melania Trump then flew to London, where they were attending a black tie gala alongside British Prime Minister Theresa May. The dinner marks the first family's official welcome to Britain during their first visit since Trump's election. The Department of Justice is reopening one of the most controversial murders in our nation's history.
That's right. Officials are looking into the case of Emmett Till, a 14-year-old black boy who was lynched in Mississippi in 1955 after only being accused of whistling at a white woman.
Now, this is footage of near his burial site from 2005. In a report to Congress, the department says it made the decision after receiving new information. 2 men were charged in the crime, but later acquitted.
Meanwhile, Till's mother famously asked that his casket be left open so the public could see just how badly his body had been beaten. The gruesome image helped to spark the civil rights movement.
And around the world now, a solemn and unique tribute from Pope Francis for a French cardinal.
The pontiff attending the full funeral of Cardinal Jean-Louis Tarrant. The popes usually only deliver the final rites at funerals for cardinals, but Tarrant, the former Vatican foreign minister, was very close with the Pope.
Pope Francis was actually seated near the casket in St. Peter's Basilica before the other cardinals proceeded in for the service.
Tarrant died last week here in the United States following a battle with Parkinson's disease.
Cheddar.
The nominees for Best Comedy Series are Atlanta, Barry, Blackish, Curb Your Enthusiasm, also Glow, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Silicon Valley, and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. The 2018 Primetime Emmy Awards will air on September 17th. And for a look at who's nominated in all the other categories, just go to news12.com and click on Numbers and Links. And let's join Pat O'Keefe now. And a former football star is getting it done on the baseball diamond right now.
No question about it, Dave. And a couple of years ago when Tim Tebow announced that he wanted to try his hand at profession, turn music into a very lucrative second career. Not bad being able to do two professions like that at the very top of the profession.
All right. Thank you very much, Pat. And be sure to stay connected with News 12 using the News 12 app. It's the best way to keep up with local news when you're on the go, and you can get it for Android and iPhone devices.
$900 million fortune. Give me some of that money.
Must be nice, huh?
Yeah.
Well, bring on the show tunes and the gel hair because West Side Story coming back to Broadway.
So excited. I saw this back in the Midwest years ago. Producer Scott Rudin announced the classic will return to Broadway under Tony Award-winning director Ivo Van Hove. There will be a new choreography, which will mark the first time a major revival in America deviates from the original choreography. Interesting. And the theater has yet to be announced, but performances are set to begin December 10th. 2019.
Something to look forward to. Well, NBA legend LeBron James has been a star on the court for years, and now he's poised to be a star on the silver screen. According to Variety magazine, James has sold a pitch for a new comedy film to Paramount Players. Now, that's a division of Paramount Pictures. James's Spring Hill Entertainment has been working on this idea for months alongside writer Steve Mallory. Variety reporting that talks are underway for King James himself to star in the comedy, which doesn't have a title yet. He also would be the producer.
Oh.
And actress Sandra Oh made Emmy history Thursday after being nominated for Best Actress in a Drama for her role in Killing Eve.
This makes her the first woman of Asian descent ever to be nominated for the award. Oh's nomination comes amid discussions about diversity in Hollywood. Many have noted that certain groups, including artists of Asian descent, continue to see a lack of representation at major award shows. The Emmy Awards take place September 17th. Good luck.
All right, and if you're looking for a new pad in Beverly Hills, well, Elizabeth Taylor's house is on the market for the first time in over 2 decades. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury confirms that listing at, get this, $15.9 million. Wow. Taylor lived in the home in the 1950s with then-husband Michael Wilding.
That's a lot of money. I'm looking for a new place, but I can't afford that. All right, after reports emerged that the chairman and founder of Papa John's Pizza used a racial slur in a conference call, John Schnatter has stepped down now. Papa John said in a statement that a new chairman would be appointed soon. Forbes magazine first reported the founder used the N-word while doing a role-playing exercise. Schnatter later confirmed the incident and apologized for his use of the slur. Well, everyone, if you've been on social media, has been doing the shiggy since this dance went viral on Instagram 2 weeks ago.
But now one celebrity has taken this crazed dance to a whole new level. That's right, Will Smith posted himself doing the shiggy to Drake's hit record In My Feelings on top of the famed Chain Bridge in Budapest. Smith posted the video on his Instagram with the caption, "Last day in Budapest, I woke up in my feelings." The actor also wrote that he was terrified, which is why his dance moves are so stiff. So far, that video getting over 5 million views.
And you know, don't copy him because this is dangerous. Just do it somewhere safe, like in your house.
Good plan.
News 12 The Bronx is brought.
Governor Cuomo looking to help parts of the Bronx rocked by the murder of Lisandro Guzman Feliz. The governor announcing more than $18 million will be invested in youth programs to help cut down on gang recruitment. News 12 The Bronx reporter Carmen Grant is tracking this story, and we'll have much more on these developments within the next half hour. In the Bronx now, new affordable housing units are coming to our borough, giving many a new lease on life, literally. News 12's Christine Russo was at the groundbreaking today and has the story.
That corner.
And let's get to your hyperlocal weather now with Daryl Green. Hey, Daryl.
Hey, guys, you know, we're looking at a fairly pleasant day. I hope you're able to get out and enjoy it. Really, so far this week.
Thank you, Daryl. Well, it is time now for our word on the street, and today marks the 42nd anniversary of Family Feud, that game show hitting TVs across America on this day back in 1976. So we hit the street to ask Bronxites, what's your favorite TV game show?
Ever since I was a kid, I've been watching Price is Right.
Price is Right. It's a classic.
My favorite game show is Family Feud because there's a lot of exciting things that go on. It's family oriented and they make you laugh.
Family Feud, what you think?
Family Feud because I like the questions that they ask.
So what is your top game show? Well, let us know what you think on our News 12 The Bronx Facebook page, and you may even see your comment right here on the air.
Hyperlocal forecast, Daryl Green breaking it down, enjoying the nice weather. What's happening?
Yeah, a pretty decent day. No severe weather to contend with right on through the upcoming weekend.
President Trump meeting with foreign leaders as this summer's NATO summit continues in Brussels, Belgium. The president using day 2 of the summit to recommit himself to NATO allies, despite his attacks on fellow nations' contributions of funding and Germany's energy agreement with Russia. Trump then going on at length about his potential relationship with the Russian president as a summit between those two men looms later this month.
He's not my enemy, and hopefully someday maybe he'll be a friend. It could happen, but I just don't know him very well. I've met him a couple of times.
And First Lady Melania Trump then flew to London, where they're attending a black tie gala alongside British Prime Minister Theresa May. The dinner marks the first family's official welcome to Britain during their first visit since Trump's election. And does the president want to redesign Air Force One? According to an administration official, Trump is deeply involved in talks about a redesign of the next presidential aircraft. He allegedly wants to add more red to the mostly blue and white plane. However, that official also says no final decisions have been made, but that a recently published illustration does not reflect those current discussions. Well, he was one of New York's finest, shot in the line of duty, and he was honored today in Central Park. Detective Stephen Mcdonald, who was shot in the 80s but who died just last year, will forever be remembered with a ceremonial plaque. Patrolmen and women from across the NYPD coming out in support. Mayor Bill de Blasio saying Mcdonald's legacy and career will live on.
He believed that the NYPD was going to help us heal all the challenges and wounds of the past. He had such tremendous faith. And I hope that every officer who walks the beat out there feels his guiding hand on their shoulder, because I certainly do. And I think there are millions of New Yorkers who have felt that feeling over the years.
Left behind a wife and a son who has since followed in his father's footsteps to join the NYPD. Are you feeling lucky? Well, you may want to toss your hat in the ring for a shot at this week's Mega Millions lottery jackpot. That jackpot now over $340 million. That's if you take the prize in annuity payments. If you win and want all your cash at once, you'll have to settle for a measly $204 million bucks, minus taxes, of course. Now, the next Mega Millions drawing is set for Friday night.
All right, we won the lottery because we have Daryl Green doing the forecast.
You win the lottery contest for weather. Now, the dollars, that's a whole new different story. 200 and what was it?
I would share a little bit with you, Daryl. Not a lot, but I'll give you at least $1 million. I'll give you $1 million.
I'll take it,
cool.
And you'll get a call from me on your birthday.
Now, Dave's not getting anything.
All right, that's between you and him. Let's start talking about air quality here because we've been seeing a fairly stagnant.
Welcome back. I'm Eric Stelzer.
And I'm Dave Roush. It's a state investment to fight gang recruitment in local neighborhoods. Today, Governor Andrew Cuomo allocating millions of dollars toward youth programs and community-based organizations in the wake of Lisandro Guzman Felice's brutal death last month.
News 12 The Bronx reporter Carmen Grant has that story from Madison Square Boys and Girls Club over in Belmont.
It's a multi-million-dollar